Welcome, everyone. We've got the McFarlane DC Multiverse, Batman, and Batmobile. This is the Rebirth, or yeah, I was about to say New 52. This is definitely Rebirth, as it says on the pack. I always get Rebirth and New 52 kind of mixed up. The suits are kind of the same, but they're kind of quite different also. So this is a McFarlane store exclusive. I don't know if this is ever going to be available anywhere else. I don't think this was available through other retailers. Like, a lot of times they'll sell these through Amazon also. So there was a window you could order them, and then it seems like it took about a month or so for them to ship it out. This one I've been excited to get, especially since, we did get this figure before, but he had the plastic cape. And then we get this Batmobile that I don't think anybody has done at all in any other form except McFarlane. McFarlane was the only one that actually has ever did one. They did like this build a Batmobile thing in the early days, and they gave you this Batmobile that was like little teeny, like not even, I guess it may have been about the same size as a action figure. Totally weird. So this is kind of like them redeeming themselves, maybe. I don't know. But enough about that. Typical box for the Batmobile. Looking at it, if you're not familiar with Rebirth, this thing looks very animated Batman series style Batmobile. It's very similar. They clearly, whoever designed this for Rebirth clearly was inspired by the animated series. There is some artwork on the back, if you can call it that. It kind of looks more like somebody took a photograph and like traced it and did like some comic book style shading. And then it shows, hey, you can stick your Batman in there and he'll fit. And then back just demonstrates you press that button to eject the cockpit, and you do have to install one thing. And then when you get this out of the package, it's going to have some clear pieces on the end. The front end is going to have the collector card and the front piece for the Batmobile. It's always almost impossible to not tear these cards up trying to open the little package that they come in. But there is the card. And it's that same artwork that's on the package. And then there's the data file if you want to read that. So that's cool. And then we got some protector pieces. And then this just plugs in. I don't think there's anything special to this. This piece at the bottom does slot in through the bottom, so don't try to slot it in through the top. And it is going to take a little bit of effort to snap in. There's some tabs here that go under these pieces, and did take a little bit of effort to do that. All right, so we'll come back to him in a moment. Go ahead and open this guy up. It does come with a couple extra fists, a batarang, and a grapple gun. He comes with a really nice collector card. And there is the bio. And then he's got one of these newer style figure stands that have this kind of throwback DC logo. And I didn't show it off, but the back of the box has got the same artwork as the collector card. Okay, and here is Batman out of the package, if I can get him to stand. Okay. And we'll adjust some things here. I am noticing that this cape is very thick. This is kind of like the difference between the two versions of the first appearance Batman. Maybe even thicker than that. I mean, this is like noticeably thicker. It's a nice material too. So you got like this thick material, and normally there'd be like a thinner material on the inside. I don't know if this material is sandwiched together or painted, but it is extra thick. There's no wire in the cape, although because of the way this is stitched, you could easily install a wire in here if you wanted to. But keeping in mind that he came with this Batmobile, I don't know that you'd want to put a wire, because if you're gonna put them in the Batmobile and have them displayed that way, it's probably better not to do something like that. But the Batarang, I mean, really all the accessories we've seen before. This is all reuse. Maybe different colors, because I think the original versions, these were like silver and gold for the different versions they had of him. And then he's got kind of these mismatched hands. He's got trigger hand here, fist here, and then he's got an opposing trigger hand and an opposing fist. And then he also has, like a force push hand, kind of like this, kind of splayed hand. I think that's cool. I always like hands like that. And then the face printing, I don't know, to me seems a little bit better than the original. It seems a little sharper. I don't know if this is a new head. This might be the one thing that's new on him. But I will say also, like, the paint, especially the bat symbol, the color choice, like, it's really striking. Like the colors really pop. And you gotta give it to the original artist who designed this look to come up with the colors. But McFarlane, like, this specific gray and this specific purple and the gold, like, it just really, really pops. And then here he is with the masked head. And there is a little bit of sweating I'm noticing on the figure, like in the head area, like the head, around the back of the neck here. Just kind of be aware of that. Maybe these things got manufactured and shoved into the box quick. I don't know, but just something to be careful of, because that stuff is like grease more or less, and you can be messing around with your figure and wondering why you got oil on your hands. But outside of that, this is a pretty nice figure. And then we all know that he will fit into the Batmobile. We've seen lots of pre-release footage of that, but I did kind of want to show the inside as best as I could, if I can. And it is a little minimalistic. And I'm pretty sure the console is just a sticker. It looks like it's just a sticker. But, you know, they gave him kind of a seat. It's mostly kind of a floor that's designed to look like a seat. And the steering wheel does not turn. And I think I have taken him off of the rail system. So do be aware of that. It's pretty easy to just pull this canopy open. Pull the canopy off. And there does seem to be a lot of room in here. So you shouldn't have to finagle him too much. You can just kind of like almost lay him in there. You don't really need to worry about, you know, trying to position him well. And then close it up and you're good to go. The reels are rubber. The tires are rubber. The top of this engine block is just gray plastic. There might be some wash, or this might be marbling. It's really hard to tell. It kind of does look like there's like some kind of wash on it, but it doesn't translate like wash. It translates like plastic marbling. So there's that. The rims are just plastic. They are a nice shiny plastic. And then the grill, there's some painted area. So there's the base plastic, which is like a dull matte black. And then these little pylons are a glossy black. The bat symbol's glossy. The white, I don't know if it's glossy or not, but you know, you got the white paint there. And then on the back, pretty sure this is a separate piece. This is a glossy plastic. And then you got the red painted on for the rear lights. So no lighting effects, no electronics. And this is priced a little high in my opinion for what it is. But if they did a low run on these, I can see why they priced them the way they did. But I believe this was like $99, and it's I don't know. This is $99. If it had come with some lighting effects or something, I think it would have had more value. It should have, in my opinion, it should cost a little bit less. But what can you do? If you want a McFarlane Rebirth Batman and Batmobile, this is the way you get it. Oh, one last thing. You know, most of the car is this matte black, but this little intake on the side is kind of like this glossy black. So overall, I like it, but I'm a big Rebirth fan. So this is kind of a, you know, a little bit of a grail for me. I would say out of like Batman stuff to like, you know, want to own, this is pretty cool. I do think it's priced a little bit too high for what it is, but for the most part, it looks nice. It does roll really nice. Like there's just something like tactile about like the way it rolls. It's pretty nice. But other than that, if you passed on it, I don't know that you're missing out on too much. You got to be, you know, hardcore Batman fan, and if you are, you should try to get this. And if you're not, maybe not. But outside of that, I forgot to mention the figure and the Batmobile technically were separate. I don't know if you could get Batman by himself, but there was like packages, like you could get the Batmobile and you could get the Batmobile with the figure. I got the Batmobile with the figure. And at the time of recording, I don't know if these are still available. If they are, I'll put links up for them to make it easier to pick it up if you're interested. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.